everybody? Welcome to another edition of MMA Mondays. I'm here back at Stars and Strikes Gym. I'm here with Brandon Mitcham. Brandon's got a big fight coming up April 12th in Caddick, Michigan. War of the Wex. I think War of the Wex 3 is fighting for the 155-pound belt for the two-piece promotions up there. Brandon just got done with training, so I appreciate you sitting down with us. Where are you at in training camp? How do you feel? And what do you think about the fight coming up?
I'm really confident in it. Training's been really good. I'm healthy. We've been training hard, not missing a beat, tightening things up. The weight's coming down smooth, and we're closing in, so I'm ready to go.
All right, very cool. Now, before we get into that fight, kind of how did you find Stars and Strikes, and what made you get into MMA?
It was a little bit after COVID that I found this place, maybe 2020, 2021. I looked up a gym near me, and I was competitive in high school with sports, so I felt like I still had some stuff to give, and I found a nice community, nice fight community, and I felt like I had something to offer. So I like fighting. I was a big fan of a fight game coming into the sport, so I figured why not give it a chance to learn. I didn't really necessarily have aspirations of competing until I first got here, and then when I got here, I started training, loving it, and then it was history from there.
Now, you said you played some sports in high school. What sports did you play? Anything that would translate into MMA?
I trained wrestling a little bit for a couple summers. I never really got on the team or joined it, though. I just messed around with it. I was big into football. Football was my thing. I did some track. And then, I just stayed working out in the off seasons, kind of just, staying in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right, cool. So you found Stars and Strikes. Obviously, you like it here, been here for a few years now. You said since after COVID. You really hit the ground running with your career once you started fighting. Like, I was looking at your Tapology. That site saved me so many times. But you used to have like 2 or 3 fights a year. So I mean, and you've had a title fight already. So obviously, you had a really successful amateur career. What do you contribute that to? Is it the gym, the coaches, your work ethic? Like, what do you think has helped you so far in your career?
Definitely everything, staying together, staying a student of the game, staying hardworking, staying consistent, showing up day in and day out, putting in work when nobody's looking, taking everything in like a sponge, learning every day, learning what I can, obviously making new training partners, listening to coaches, taking tips, taking advice, implementing everything that I learned to this day. It helps me keep going.
Yeah. Was there anybody specifically in the gym that kind of took you under their wing and guided you?
I started training with some different guys. Some aren't here anymore. Some don't show up as much. But there's a whole bunch of names I don't want to leave out. But definitely a lot of the OG guys that were here. A lot of the guys that I started with. Yeah, man, they still show up. They still work hard. Like, it's their first day. It's their first year of training. So that helps a lot. It helps a ton. And we all get better. Each and every time we're in here, we're learning something. We're getting better. We're working on things we're not that well at. We're getting better at the tools that we are good at. And yeah, it's an ever-revolving door.
All right, very cool. I mentioned that you had fought for a title before. It didn't go your way. Where do you think, what's different about you now as opposed to that last title fight you had?
Definitely, I don't want to say too much has changed skill-wise because I didn't fight my best fight that night. I was a lot better fighter than that showed up that night. Definitely fighting to not lose is what I went into that fight doing. Not purposefully. I just went in there and I basically just didn't let go what I had in my arsenal. I didn't let my punches fly. I didn't mix up my takedowns. I didn't clinch. I didn't feint well. And it cost me the fight. But the cardio was good. I was healthy. And basically from there I just learned to basically just to fight to hurt. Come in there and leave every single thing in there, win, lose, or draw, just leave it all in there. And made that little tiny mistake that night, and that cost me big, which was definitely a big sting because that fight was in my favor, and I definitely believe if I come across that fight again, it'll be a night and day difference.
Right.
I'd be winning.
Well, I mean, at this stage in your career, I mean, you're still in the amateurs. You know that you're learning your game, you're learning your rhythm in there. You know what I mean? I think that's part of the lumps of becoming a pro in this. You know what I mean? So you bounced right back from that fight, and your last fight, you actually revenged the loss from a gym mate. You know, how did that fight go, and what do you think you can take from that fight into this championship fight?
So I knew Kerry. He was a very, very tough opponent. I knew that going in there, that he was no slouch. He had no weak spots. He had no holes in his game that I was looking to exploit. I just wanted to, like I said, come this time, come next time, leave everything in there, and that's what I did. End up coming out with the win. But yeah, no, I'll definitely probably be seeing him again. Hopefully, you know. So it was an exciting fight. Most people say it was very exciting, and I checked that box, but I didn't check the most important box, was to be dominant in there. I wasn't really dominant, which was most important to me. So I was exciting, but I wasn't dominant. So I would like to be both. And then so those are the goals that I try to hit every time I go.
Yeah, well, I mean, you came away with the win, and obviously it set up this fight that you got coming up. So let's talk about that fight, April 12th. In Cadillac, War of the Wex, two-piece promotions. You know, what does it mean to you to get another title shot like this, and for a promotion that's kind of up and coming and wants you to be their 155-pound amateur title holder?
This fight will be definitely a must-win. This fight I'm coming into with everything I have. He's a very tough opponent. He's a very exciting opponent. He puts on exciting fights as well. I got his name a long time ago, and it didn't quite match up, and I got Kerry instead in between time. So now we come around the block again, and we're ready to take a shot. I've seen some of his fights, and I continue to look. I continue to poke and prod at what I see, what I like, what I don't like, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait to go.
Yeah. I mean, you say like you've seen a couple of those fights. Is that something you do before? Like, I know it's hard probably to find like, you know, footage on all the amateur fighters around here, but do you like to have a game plan going in there, like kind of see what their style's like beforehand?
I don't necessarily. I create a game plan, but I keep it very basic, very simple. I don't like to solely focus too much on it, because if something happens and that game plan goes out the window, then you know, most people let the instincts take over, and then they just fight and try to win. So I try to fight my fight every time. I try to do what I'm good at. I try to attack little weaknesses, maybe little holes that I see. But I try to, for the most part, I try to study my opponent. I try to look at him, watch him. Usually it's a small community here in Michigan, so you see guys around. You've seen them either fight live, or you've seen them maybe like videos of them. And yeah, he's quite familiar. He's a Battle Creek fighter. He fights a little bit more up north, but he travels all around. So he's fought in Indiana. He's fought kickboxing, and yeah.
No. Now, where do you? Maybe not just this fight in particular, but just in general. Where do you like the fight to go? Do you like to stand up? Are you more a ground and pound guy? Like where do you like the fight to go?
I really like it all really kind of depends. I like to figure it out once I get in there and once I feel the guy, because it's a lot different feeling him out and actually feeling the power and the speed and the reaction from you just watching the previous tape. Because I always give it the benefit of the doubt that guy's got a lot better.
Yeah.
And that's why I just stick to what I'm good at. I stick to my game plan and what I like to implement. And I work hard, very hard, and I have guys that are good everywhere in this gym. So I make sure by the time I get in there, I'm ready wherever it goes, however long it goes, and I have no preference.
All right, I gotcha. Now, you're a very, very humble guy, but I'm still going to ask this question. Do you have a prediction for April 12th? How do you think the fight's going to go?
I really don't like to predict most of the time. So in a fight, anything can happen. You know, watching my fights guaranteed. Absolutely, we're bringing it all. I could definitely guarantee that years are coming off of both of our lives. If not one of them, both of them definitely. And you can expect that from me, man, because I don't spend all this time and all these resources and time and money here for nothing.
Right.
And I don't love this just for nothing. I've been dedicated for this just to do it. We aim to win, we aim to hit hard, come back, get up, and it's gonna be a good one. I can tell you that.
All right, man. Well, that's April 12th. Two-piece promotions, War at the Wicks in Canenack, Michigan. We'll definitely give you updates on Brandon's fight. There's 2 other fighters from the gym fighting for titles that night also. So big night for Stars and Strikes. Jab Journals will be there to cover it. And we'll see you guys on the next one.